Coach Chambers just mentioned to us that Mike is going to be available tomorrow. Not sure if he'll actually play or not. What kind of boost would that give the team, and how have you seen him respond to that news?
Mike's had a great attitude throughout this whole process, and if we can get Mike tomorrow, that would be great.
How do you feel like you've played? Where do you think you can get better, or is it just don't touch any of the dials and just keep it going?
There's always ways that I could get better. I feel like I could shoot better from three. I feel like that's something that's um, I could work on, keep working on, and I could defend better at a higher rate, and I think that's something that would be beneficial for me and my team.
Is there a level of patience that's required as an older guy
Right.
who's carrying what you're carrying, as the younger guys kind of come along and have some of the ups and downs that they do?
It has to be. At the end of the day, they're freshmen. They've never played on the level where everybody's respectable, everybody's really good, and they work really hard. So you can't be mad at them because they put the work in. They take shots they're supposed to take that we all want them to take. And I know what it's like being a freshman, going through the highs and lows. But I think that it's better for it to happen early on, and I think they're really going to hit their stride. And coming towards Big Ten.
Is there any responsibility on your side of things, to kind of guide them through that? Is there anything that maybe you say to them or do for them
Yeah.
to help them along?
Um, I will always tell them, hard work eliminates fear, and if they ever have a time where they're not confident in their game or confident in their shot, they need to come put the work in. So it's like it's just routine. I do this all the time, so I know I'm going to make it. And they have. They responded every day. Every game they may not have played their best, they were in the gym the next day or next morning. And I think, that's a recipe for success, and it's going to pay off.
Lamar, you're not really seeing them pass up shots either, even when they're struggling. How important is that to keep doing what they know, and I'm sure you know they can do because you see it in practice in some
Right.
other games.
Um, that's their job. We have definitive roles, and when you have an open shot, you should shoot it because you're open. That's what your job is. And although you didn't make the last three or four, you might make that one. So just keep shooting. I think Coach Chambers instills that confidence into that freshman to keep shooting because he knows they can.
You've seen a lot of Mike. We have not seen him since last, I think, the Michigan game.
Right.
How is he looking as a player at this point?
Mike's looking like Mike. He's looking good.
You played pretty well as a freshman anyway, but how long did it take you to have things sort of click at a level where you're like, not only am I playing with confidence, but I feel like not so much belong here, but you didn't feel like a freshman as much?
My freshman year was full of highs and lows, and times where I played really good, and there was times that I didn't play really well. And I think it wasn't towards like the end of Big Ten, uh, going into the Big Ten tournament where I found my routine, I found what's best for me, and how I had to pick my spots each game. I think that's when my confidence really got there. But these freshmen are different. They found their routines already, and they work really hard every day, and probably harder than I did as a freshman. So they should be good soon. They'll be good.
And is there an energy balance for you on both ends of the floor? Because you're talking about you felt like you wanted to play defense better, but you're
Right.
getting asked to do so much offensively. I think
Right.
of, not to say you're LeBron, but he's a guy that sometimes he's not sprinting back on every transition because he's just giving up so much energy all the time. Is it
Right.
a balance for you to figure out when and where to give that kind of thing?
I think it's just my responsibility as a leader, as the older guy on the team, to push myself to that limit to give off that extra effort, so the young guys see it and show like this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you win games, and this is the energy you have to give each game to win at a high level. So I think it's just my responsibility to show it in all facets.
Does that wear you out at all?
I mean, I think that I'm built for it. I put a lot of work in the off season. I know how important conditioning is, and throughout the season I get constant treatment, so my body feels really good. But I think it's just beneficial for everybody. And if I start doing it, it'll just make it easier for everybody, including myself.
Do you guys prepare any differently, whether it's on the court or mentally, when you have a highly ranked team coming in here?
No, we prepare for everybody the same.
Is there a challenge to that with the freshmen? Because maybe their toughest competition that maybe they have faced to this point.
You said is it a challenge?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that, like I said, they put in a lot of work in the off season. They still are continuing to put in the work. I think they're excited for a big challenge like this against a great team in Virginia Tech.
Offensively, you've kind of been moved all over the floor so far this season.
Right.
Once Mike comes back, he'll obviously occupy some of that low post area, which is somewhere you've felt comfortable this season. Do you expect your role to change on offense at all?
No, I think me and Mike really work together really well down there, and I think that's going to free up a lot of space for myself. Actually, even more, just having Mike around and having another person you have to really respect on the court.
Do you expect the double teams in the post to kind of lessen now that he's down there as well?
Probably not.
Do you think the West Virginia game helps you guys at all in a situation like this? You've obviously played
Right.
everybody, but for younger guys that have, you get on the court and you see an Indiana basketball uniform and they're kind of like, oh my goodness, it's Indiana or whatever.
Right.
To play West Virginia, to play like you guys did, does that kind of lessen the sort of, not starstruckness, but the idea that you're playing a good team? Not so much you, obviously, but
Yeah.
maybe some of these younger guys.
Yeah, West Virginia is a really good team, and we went to West Virginia and we won. And I think that just showed, our young guys that anybody can be beat. And I think it gives them like extra confidence that we already did something like this before. But they're a confident bunch, and I think they're going to really approach the game at a high level.